Hey guys, this is Robbie and Caleb. We're back with a new story of the shift. So I was scrolling through looking at current corrections news across the country and came across a New York inmate that was beat to death. And I tell you what, the video is pretty gruesome, and we're going to kind of go over some of it and give tidbits of our own opinion. Now, if our opinion's right, I mean, who knows? But so the story was there was 13 officers and one nurse that were implemented or or implicated in the death. The death was related to asphyxiation due to compression of the neck. And in the video, you can see the officers kicking the inmate, repeatedly punching him in the stomach, grabbing him by the neck, slamming him down on the table. And I mean, the inmate was already cuffed behind the back. There was absolutely no reason that this should have happened. And I mean, it's a disgrace to our profession.
Yeah, it 1,000% is. For those that are thinking about getting into this line of work, or you're just wondering about this incident in general, this is not how a good correctional operates. This is not how there is no reason under any circumstance that we at Correctional Commentary will advocate for this particular kind of treatment under any circumstance. It is
Oh yeah,
illegal. It is abhorrent.
I can't believe in that whole video that there wasn't one officer or one
That stood
anybody
up. It stopped it.
that was like, oh, like this can't happen. And
And that right
this is the
there,
type of stories
yeah,
that give correctional officers bad names and bad
right.
publicity.
And it's those kind. See, one thing that and I can't really blame the media outlet for not understanding this, but one thing that I was very much aware of is that right there, the fact that nobody said anything, and you could clearly tell all those officers were doing something very much
Oh,
explicitly
for sure.
illegal.
I mean, and they touched on how the body cameras
Yeah.
weren't functioning properly. I mean, that's not a which that's the first time I've ever heard of correction staff having body cameras.
Well, it was in New
But
York as well. They're a little bit
yeah,
different up there,
yeah.
and
But I mean, the fact that you didn't have video, so I mean, you don't know if the inmate was saying certain things or if the inmate was, hey, I can't breathe.
well, Robbie, if you
I
notice in
mean,
that video too, they tried to shove something down his throat.
yeah, I mean, it's
I don't know of any
my
they
whenever I
would ever use a
found,
spit mask.
yeah, I mean, whenever I found that video, I called you and I was like, this is crazy. It made my jaw drop to the floor.
It made my blood boil
Yeah,
completely.
I mean, just the fact that anybody can think that they can get away with something like that. And I true heartedly, I hope that all 13 of those officers and that nurse, I hope they serve the rest of their life in prison.
Yeah, guys, this is not like the leader of the Correctional Officers Benevolent Association up there in New York. He said at the response to this case, these officers do not represent the values of correctional officers, and same thing with his members of his association, and that is very true. We're not members of a Correctional Officers Benevolent Association. They're not really big in our states, in our region. But as far as not representing correctional officers, that is exactly true. That does not represent who we are at Correctional Commentary. This does not represent any kind of act or behavior we will condone under any circumstance.
Yeah,
It's not right.
this was done back in December. I believe it was like
I want to say
December
December 9th,
5th.
wasn't it?
It might have been the ninth.
Yeah.
Oh, this just I mean I just found it, and it was one of those things that it didn't need to wait. It
Yep.
needed to be brought to the eyes, and I mean I think that everyone in the everyone in this profession, this rolls back around to everybody. We need a voice,
Yes.
and if if the other officers with us don't step up and point out the wrong, you know, the community is just going to think that we're all like this.
Well, and Robbie,
And
that's one reason we had that phrase in our line of work called "Be Your Brother's Keeper." And I have to ask, where was their brother's keeper at this particular case? This is
oh,
ridiculous,
I mean, yeah, there was nobody there.
right?
So we just wanted to kind of come in and do a very brief, um,
Discussion.
yeah, discussion. That's the best. I
Mhm.
mean, but I don't want to go too deep into it. We'll kind of touch on it maybe in some future stuff. But I mean, my blood was boiling, and I mean, I'm sick into my stomach with how it happened. It
Right.
should not have happened. There should have been someone in there to stand up and and stop that situation, because it absolutely could have been prevented if you would have had one leader in that room.
Right. 100%.
So I think that's all we're going to go on that one, unless
Yep.
you have anything else.
I just want to say one quick thing. If you're out there and you're listening to this and you are one of those kinds of officers, do us all a favor. Get out of the profession because you're going to get somebody else hurt. You are not worthy to
Absolutely.
wear that badge. And I will stand behind those words.
Yes. And also, I want to say to the family of the inmate that was beaten to death, you will be in our prayers.
Yes.
And I hope that justice is served for what happened to your family. And our hearts go out to you and your family.
Yep.